Ah, wicked. Okay. Right. I don't know if anybody's actually watching this. Let's just see. Let's get fired into it. Right. Basically, what I wanted to do was live stream my production process. Now, I'm by no means an expert at making techno at all, but I just thought that by live streaming, it sort of puts the pressure on me to get stuff done quickly, but also I can then review my process at the end of recording. So, and also hopefully I'll be able to show you a couple of things that are fairly useful for making tracks. So basically, I wanted to. I've been asked by a mate of mine, Mark Neenan, who runs a record label called Filth Infatuated Digital, to produce two techno tracks and one electro track. So yesterday I pretty much finished off an electro track, and today I thought I'd get stuck in and make some techno. So it's a horrible day outside. Everybody's stuck inside, quite possibly, but I've got a cup of tea and I've had a bacon sandwich, so I'm good to go. Right, so first things first. Basically, I wanted to make a track that was sort of along the lines of some of the old +8 sort of, I don't know what you call it. It's all the old school sort of Richie Hawtin style type of music. Maybe when he was producing under the name Fuse. So a lot of that purely just uses 909s and 303s. So, but I mean, this is just a rough sort of guide as to where I'm going with that. Something to do with production, like I think that everybody tries to make something specific, but it never actually turns out like that. You have a sound in your head, but it's so difficult to get that actually into, to represent that using any kind of music software, unless you've been doing it for years and years and years. So let's just see where it goes. Right, so a good place to start, I think, probably would be a kick drum. So as much as I'd like to use a 909, I actually want to use a process that one of my mates taught me, which was basically just layering 3 drums, just so you get the most out of each sound. So let's put a drum rack into Ableton. Let's just slide it over here. I like to color code everything, so I'll make that black as well, the same as this this audio channel here. So inside drum rack, let's go to samples, and these sounds to sample, these Amsterdam Techno ones, they're pretty good. They've got some quite nice kick drums in there, so I'll just use one of those, or well, 3 of those in fact. So let's have a quick listen to those. Right, I have to turn that up a little bit in my headphones. Okay. Okay, that's got a nice sort of like mid-weight to it, so I'll probably use that for my mid-weight. If I drag and drop that onto this pad here, and then I'm looking for something with a nice sort of like clicky top end. Let's just try that. Right, so if I hold Command and if I don't hold down Command, and I drag that sample, I can drop that onto the same drum pad. So now you can see here in the instrument, it creates an instrument rack within the drum rack. So there's now 2 samples on that single pad. So if I press play, it will play both of those at the same time. And obviously I can mute one of those. Right, now I need to find a drum with a nice low end, preferably in the same key, just so that, or the same note, sorry, so that it doesn't clash too much. Okay, that's got a pretty solid low end in it. Sorry, let's hold Command, drag that onto there. Instrument rack. Okay, I've now got three kick drums here, which I can split into various different. Well, I can split into high, a mid, and a low. So what I want to do now is get the EQ8. This has become probably one of the most useful tools that I've actually used within Ableton. I mean, I've used it on pretty much every single sound. So let's build a quick sequence in here. So let's just put 4 kicks in there, and then we can play that. Okay. So I can't hear that at all. Nope. Yeah. Let's have a look, see if it's coming in there. Okay, so it's recording. I just can't hear it. That's a bit annoying. What have I done here? There we go, I can hear that now. Strange glitch. Right, okay, so let's solo that one. I think that was the mid one, so let's put in a high pass filter. Use this one, and let's put that in at about 100, around about 100 hertz, 105, somewhere around there. Right, now I want to take the top end completely off of this, so I could use any of these filters here and just change the type of filter, but I'll just use number 4 just for ease in a minute. So I want to take the top end off of that down to probably about 1000 hertz, so yeah, 1 kilohertz, roughly around there. Right, and now let's solo the next one. Okay, that's the one with quite a nice top end, I think. Yeah. To be honest, most of these kicks are pretty solid all the way through the frequency range. You could just use a single one of these. I just like to use three different kicks, just so that you've got control over each different part of the kick. So let's drop another EQ8 onto that. Let's put another high pass filter, and we'll high pass that off at around 1 kilohertz. Right, so that's our top. We can rename that as well. Another good shortcut here is if you press Command and R when you've got something selected, you can rename those parts. So if I put that as high, and I rename that one as mid, rename that one as low. Okay, so let's solo the low one. Yeah, and let's put on an EQ8 onto there. Okay, if I bring that down to around about 100 hertz. So now if I just quickly cycle through those 3, you'll be able to see. Let's put that up the top of there as well. So that's my high. You can see that's high passed off there above 1000 hertz. This is my mid range. This is my low range. And also another thing that you can do with the low end, well, I'll do it to the entire kick, but just a tip that I was taught by one of my mates was to pretty much high pass everything at 40 hertz, so that it basically removes the inaudible energy in the low end of the track. So if you're taking these tracks and you're going to play them on a big rig, having too much low end in the track, obviously it's basically useless because you can't hear it. So but what that is doing is it's sucking a lot of energy from the amplifiers to move the speakers at those low frequencies, which you're not going to hear anyway, and that can take away from the rest of the track. So sometimes it's quite a good idea just to like high pass your tracks, or high pass pretty much everything around about 40 hertz, sometimes a bit lower. So if we do that, I'll try and remember to do that at the end of oh no, well, why don't I just do it now? I'll just do it now. Let's go. Right, so if I go to the whole drum rack and I drop an EQ8 over the whole thing, and then I'll just put on this one times 4, and that's high passed around, let's say 37 hertz. That should do the job. Right, let's go back to this. Let's take that off a solo. You can hear all of those kicks all firing together at once now. I sometimes find that the top end is quite clicky or a bit too loud, so maybe I'll just reduce that a bit. Just playing with the mid there as well. I mean, a lot of this is experimentation. It's just, you just got to do this to until you think it sounds good, really. Okay, I think we're going a bit fast here as well. Maybe let's slow it down to 135. Okay, that sounds pretty solid to me. Let's rename that as a kick. Okay, let's have a quick look on live dashboard. See if anybody's actually watching this. Ah, there is one person watching. I don't know if that's, I don't know who that is, but say hello in the comments if you if you can. Right, let's get back to this then. So okay, so we've got a kick there. Now I wanted to make really I wanted to make the low end from toms. So maybe that'll be the bass line, obviously, but maybe I'll make that once I've made a synth line. So for the synth line, I really wanted to use my TB3, which is a Roland, little digital Roland instrument, one of their IRA range. It's a really good little tool. It's basically just got loads of presets on it, and yeah, it's just a really cool little acid machine, basically. So if I go to synth 1, let's change that. Let's rename that TB3. Okay. Okay, this little beast is on now. If I press spacebar, yeah, that's it moving. The great thing about this TB3 is that it basically saves. If you turn it off, it saves whatever the last pattern you played in it was, which was something that I used in an electro track, in that electro track I made yesterday. So you can probably hear that now. So I want to edit this a little bit. Maybe take a couple of notes out of it. It's a step record. Let's remove that. does sound a bit better. Maybe. Okay, that's sort of sounding alright now, I think. But obviously all of this is experimentation. It's cool, but I don't know, maybe I'll just cycle through some of the other presets that are in there, and it sounds a bit basic to me at the moment, but there's nothing that a little bit of reverb and maybe some delay or something might make a little bit more interesting later on. So let me just quickly cycle through some of the other presets that are in there. Yeah, okay, that sounds pretty cool. I know it's just a bit of reverb on there, but nothing particularly exciting. Right, so the next thing that I will do here is I will record in, basically just record in like a little jam. Now this is the process that I normally go through. So I'll just basically record a load of audio into Ableton, and yeah, it's just like it doesn't really matter what piece of kit you're using. Like it doesn't even matter what sort of DAW you're using. I mean, I've got a copy. Well, sorry, I've got an instance of Reason loaded up here as well, just in case I wanted to use some of the synths out of there. I really like Reason. I've used it for years, and I find that the programming my own sounds and things in there really easy. But I mean, I could do all of this inside Ableton, and I think it's really important to tell people that you don't need loads of outboard gear, you don't need loads and loads of equipment. You can pretty much do absolutely everything that you need to do all inside Ableton, and for the same thing with Reason as well. I mean, you can do pretty much everything inside there. You can make absolutely anything with all of those synths that are in there. So it's just that I quite like to use some of my hardware. Well, I wouldn't even call it hardware because it's digital, really. But yeah, sometimes I think it's easier to, all the knobs and things are all mapped already, so I'll just use that. Right, so let's try. Let's hit record on the 2B3 and record maybe 32 bars or something of that. Let's see what that sounds like. So basically just opening the cut off and changing the resonance. Right, that should do. Now I've got a massive bit of audio here that I can play around with. Let's just see. I don't know. Yeah, I did manage to get in 62. Yeah, 62 bars. That'll do. So I'll go into that and I'll chop all that up later. So let's sort out a bass line. Now something that I thought of earlier that I'm going to try is putting a tuner on I put a tuner on this channel to see if I can just tune the toms for the low end for the bass line. So let's just chuck that on. Yeah, that's it. Let's go for, I think I've got I just wanted a 909 kit. I'm using a TR8S here. I used to have a TR8. It's a wicked piece of kit, but I decided to get this TR8S because you could load your own samples and stuff into it. But obviously it still has the capability of it has all like the old Roland drum kits on it. So it's got like a TR8 and a 707 and a 727. It's got all sorts of stuff, 606, 626. So yeah, it's an absolutely wicked piece of kit. Obviously another hands-on piece of kit. So it's just, I just find it easier to program in this rather than sitting there clicking on things in the computer. Bit of a luxury. Right, okay. So let's go to TR record. Start with the low toms. So if I select, I think it's 9 and 10. Okay, that doesn't sound anything like a low tom to me. That's better. thumbnail sounds alright now. So I will record that in as well and use that as a baseline. Maybe add a bit of shuffle to that, give it some sort of groove. Cool, right, that'll do for that. That is just a 1 bar loop basically, so I'll just select, I was pretty happy with the audio that was sort of towards the end of that recording, so I'll just select 1 bar out of that, and I could just loop that. So if I turn that, let me just go into the audio here. So basically with the TR8, it is a really wicked piece of kit, but I haven't sorted out problems with the latency recording into Ableton, so I just have to go in and basically manually adjust where those drum hits are actually happening, because there's a slight delay between that and between the sound coming out of the TR8 and the time that it's recording it into Ableton. I'm pretty sure there's a way of sorting out the delay so that you don't have to go in and manually change everything, but sometimes I just think it's easier just to do this. It's pretty much there. You can see it's almost on the line. Maybe I'll just move this way a little bit. Oops. Okay, that should now have lined up this loop. Let's try that. Cool. Right, that's cool. Let's put that into mono as well if I'm going to use that as a low end. The tuner obviously didn't work, so let's delete that. Utility in. Whoops. Sorry, I meant to drag and drop that one in. There we go. Now, I could probably put an EQ on top of that as well. Okay, that sounded pretty cool. See what I just want to know what a half a bar loop sounds like on that acid line. Pretty weird. Right, okay. Right. Okay, let's have a quick look at making a top end loop for that. So yeah, I'm going to use the TR8S again because it's just awesome. No, it's not because it's awesome, but it's just because it's really easy to program. So I'm going to use that again. But I mean, you could quite easily do all of this inside a drum rack in here. So let's make a new channel, an audio channel. I'll just make sure I turn these off so that there's no input, so that I'm basically just trying to end up working purely in audio. I just find it a lot easier that way, and plus it's much less demanding on your CPU, so you won't get any glitches or any problems really, or you shouldn't if your computer's fast enough. Right, so let's rename that. Let's make that hats. I'm probably going to end up with multiple patterns here, so I'll just call that one hats for the minute. Just move it over here. Eventually I will group all of these together and then process them together, but for the moment I'll just keep making them and changing the color of them and putting them next to each other. So right, okay, so if I go to external in, that's what I want. Let's try close 909 hat. Let's see what that sounds like. So much for working in audio and it not glitching at all. That just sounded a little bit weird. I don't know why that is, or what's going on there, but right, let's record that in. So I'm going to record this in and then just play with the decay a little bit of that closed hi-hat. Just opening the decay, so it's opening the hat up over time, and it just basically adds to sort of progressing the track on, and adds to the excitement of the whole thing. So let's try that. Cool, let's have a look at that. You could probably hear the delay in there. So here we go. This is exactly what I was talking about. There's for some reason there's a massive delay in there now. But I'm just going to move this back, and that should all sound like it's in time now. So if I just turn it on to auto, that's better. Cool, that's wicked. Let's put another hi-hat pattern in there. Okay, let's record another Okay. Let's just listen to that quickly and try and get it in time. Right, okay, so now I want to record another set of hats into there. Right, stop that for a second. Just change that pattern to open hi-hat in there as well. Let's try that. Okay, let's get those lined up as well. It always does something funky as well, recording the TRIS in at the start of a clip. It seems to, I don't know, it just seems to want to try and fit all the hats, or try and fit all the bits of percussion that it hasn't recorded all into the first bar for some reason. I don't really understand it, but I don't really think I need to, so I can sort it out now, which is fine. So if I just drag that back to there, that should now sound all right, hopefully. No, that sounds really weird. I don't know what I've done there. Let's go back. Okay. So I think I need to just drag that back to there. That's better. make sure that this is all lining up still. So using the warp markers there. Let's try that. See what that sounds like. Check that again, make sure that's all lining up all right. It's all right to me. I actually really like the sound of this little section here where I've cut the decay down on the closed hi-hat and changed the pitch of it slightly. I just think it just sounds really driving, so I'm going to select that area and just use that as a loop. Cool, so we've got 3 variations there of hat. That's pretty cool, we can work with that. Let's make some claps. Make a random pattern in there, see what that sounds like. Okay, what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to turn off my kick and my other hats. I'm going to turn everything off except for what's coming in on the TR8 because it's all quite out of time. So I'm just going to put in a kick drum into the TR8 so we can hear what those claps sound like over a kick drum that's actually in time. Okay, there we go. Okay. So record that in now as well. Let's record those claps in. Okay, that should do. Okay, so I know that that is on the offbeat. Okay, let's turn everything back on and see what it sounds like. Pretty loud, that's what it sounds like. And not particularly in time either. Let's put a warp marker here. That's better. So maybe I need to go right at the beginning of that. Put a warp marker there. Okay. Well, that's probably why it doesn't sound like it's in time, because I'm listening to what's actually coming in. Let's turn that off. Let's try that again. No. Right, okay, that sounds awful. And let's remove that warp marker from there and put this one back. Okay, now let's try that again. Right, that also sounds bad. Do know that that is there, that should be there, that's right. Okay, let's go back. Before I started putting water markers in and moving everything around. Okay, so I need to put a water marker there. I need to put one there. Let's bring everything back. Now that should be in time, hopefully. For some reason that still doesn't sound quite right to me. Okay, I just don't think that sounds very good. So I'll get rid of that. I might have to make a new pattern in that. Okay, so if I clear my pattern in my TR8S, To record. Okay, so let's forget about the clap for the minute. What else do we need in there? We need a ride symbol. So let's duplicate that, rename it to ride. Seems to sound alright. Okay, let's record that. Okay, I might just use a section of that, and I changed the pitch of it, and it did sound a little bit weird, but that is something that people do in Techno to obviously increase the energy a little bit. Let's have another look at that. Right, okay, let's put some warp markers in here and in here. Let's bring that back to that. Yeah, so I always have this little bit of dead. A sort of dead area at the start of a recording of anything that I record in with my TR8, but I don't need to worry about it too much. I mean, I can edit it out, and I just record a long section of audio and then change that. So let's try that. It should sound all right now. So turn input off. Okay. Starting to sound a bit like techno now. Alright. Let's just have a quick look. Okay, so still only one person watching. Well, so I've been streaming for nearly an hour now. Okay, well, we haven't really got very far. There are some other bits that I need to put into this. So obviously a lot of music production is basically, what Mike Monday would call a splurge. It's sort of like experimentation. You don't really want to be too judgmental about what you're doing at the time. It's really about making lots of volume. So volume of tracks. The more that you do it, obviously, the better you get at it, and and you just you can go back to those tracks and after a couple of days or a week or so and think, oh, actually, yeah, that one was all right. That one wasn't too bad. Sometimes it's easy just to get stuck on one particular thing, like as you saw earlier when I made those claps. I started to get really into the sort of editing. How can I make this sound okay? But I don't think you really need to worry too much about making everything sound really good now, because what I'll do with this track is I'll probably I'll save it obviously, and then I'll probably come back to it maybe tomorrow or in a couple of days' time. And I'll listen to it. Or sorry, what I will do actually once I finish this is I'll make a quick arrangement. I'll bounce that out into a wave file. Possibly make that into an MP3 or something, so I can share it with other people, or listen to it on my phone, or listen to it when I'm not in the house. which is all the time right now. Obviously, I'm in the house all the time. So yeah, just basically make it into an audio file, and then I'll be able to listen to that at a later stage and think, oh yeah, this bit needs, I don't know, this bit needs another synth, or this bit needs a riser, or maybe the drum pattern could be different in this bit, or so yeah, that's basically what I do. And then obviously within that as well, I'll be thinking about where the sounds are in the mix, what's too loud, what's too quiet, things that don't need to be there, things that do need to be there. So so I've got a basis of a track here. I know it only is a few loops at the moment, but it's something. It's definitely something. Let's have a quick listen to that and just cycle through the different hat patterns and see what it sounds like. Okay, so maybe the ride will probably come in, obviously, a bit later. So let's just try that without the... Okay. Sounded pretty cool. Especially the sort of bass line, I'm quite pleased with that, with the toms. That sounds pretty cool. Okay. So the hats could probably do with being like spread out, made a bit wider. Maybe add some like effects to them. Maybe put on like a delay, or send them to a delay or something like that, and make them, give the whole thing a bit more atmosphere. The kick, I could send that to a reverb and make that sound absolutely huge. But I'm kind of going for sort of an old school feel here, so maybe not a reverb with a massive decay on it. Maybe just like a little bit a little bit of a short reverb. So the hats definitely need a little bit of reverb, I think, and a little bit of widening. So I could probably put something like, I don't know, let's try a bit of chorus on there and see what that sounds like. That sounds quite phasey. Sounds sort of alright. It's a lot wider, that's for sure. Okay, let's try that ride. Do this centering. So let's just loop that to there. Bring that down a little bit. Okay, cool. Next thing I would probably do is add possibly another synth, some sort of like rise, or I don't know. Let's go into Reason and have a little look at some of the synths in there. I really like this. I really like Europa. It's an excellent piece of kit. it's a wavetable synthesizer, and it basically, yeah, it's just an incredible piece of kit. Like, you can sweep around all of the waves that you load into it. You can load obviously your own user patches and things into it. Yeah, sorry, own user waves into it. But you can also use your own waves to modulate it as well. So it's basically like an endless. There's endless possibilities with this thing. But let's just have a quick look at some presets. Yeah, maybe let's go for, I don't know, actually, maybe a texture or something. Maybe something, a long sort of sweeping texture might be cool. Let's see what that sounds like. Right, so if I go back into live and I change this to Reason in, and then turn the monitor on. Okay, that sounds pretty crazy. Yeah, I would have said that's pretty decent. There's a lot of low end in that right now, so I will put an EQ8 on there. And yeah, something. So another thing that I was taught, which is really useful, really helpful, is basically along with that low cut EQ, taking off the everything below sort of 40 or 30 hertz. It's a really good idea to a high pass filter or take off anything that isn't the kick or the bass. You want to be taking all of the low end out of it, pretty much. So somewhere between sort of 150 really is as low as you want to go before it starts affecting and clashing with the low end. Now, I'm no expert at EQing or mastering or any of that sort of stuff, but I just know that if you take off the low end of your synths, the low end of your hats and claps and all that sort of stuff, then there's basically nothing to interfere with your kick and your bass, because that is really the most important part of your track. That's what's going to drive your track. So for example, so this synth that we've got here, that I just loaded in, I just went down an octave just to make it more like, I don't know, more texture to the synth. So you can see there's quite a lot of low end in that, super low end, in fact. So if I just push the cutoff frequency up to, I don't know, like, let's just try 250 and see what that sounds like. Okay, it might have got rid of quite a lot there. Maybe let's try 200. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Right. So, same thing with this. I'm just basically treating Reason as a bit of outboard equipment. So I will record in some of that sound. Okay, whether or not I use that, I'll just see. But at the moment, maybe we could make it into like a loop or maybe we could reverse the audio or something. So let's just, let me see if we can make that into a reverse. Let's crop that sample, and then click down here and you can reverse it. So see what that sounds like. It doesn't sound like anything because I haven't clicked auto on here. Right, okay, let's try that again. Okay, that's pretty cool. Maybe what I'll do, I quite like this little bit of rise here. I'm not sure about the rest of it. What I will do there is I will chop this into a just into like a 4-bar loop. So it's just sat in the background and it's like constantly rising, and just see what that sounds like. Yeah, not too bad. Maybe put a bit of ping pong delay on there. Yeah, too bad. Okay, that's sounding pretty cool, I think. Right, I think I'm going to leave it there. I'll probably edit this track a bit more, but thank you to the one person that is watching this. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I'll probably do another one of these again fairly soon. And maybe I'll go into a bit more detail. Well, not even a bit more detail, but I'll just maybe try and progress the track a little bit further. I need another cup of tea now, so I'm going to stop this live stream, but who knows when I might go live again. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it.